A video on specifically for people who consider themselves Christians or following Jesus as to why we do not need to wait for a sign or wait for God to tell us to foster or work within the foster care system. God has called us to do it. Okay, so this one is not specifically for Christians. It's for anyone who has some, and this is specific reasons that people are like, oh, I don't know if I should do it because of X, Y, Z. And these are actually all things. This is for in response to a friend who asked me in a text message. I'm like, but these are actually all responses that I've heard before, and I added one that I hear all the time. Like this, the size of your house, or you're living in an apartment, you're renting, you don't have extra rooms, all of those things. I've heard in various different ways as reasons not to foster. So first of all, with fostering, there's lots of different options and ways to get into and ways to go about it. And there's also different agencies. I've only worked with the state, and I might look into different options. I'm not positive yet. But living in your living situation not being great for it. If you are thinking about certain ages, you do need separate rooms for boys and girls, and you need to have the foster kids in a separate room. Your foster children cannot share a bed with you. So yes, you do need a separate bed or safe sleep space. Depending on how long you intend to keep kiddos around, depending on a lot of different things that can look like different things, right? So if you're going to do sibling groups, they need to be in different bedrooms based on gender after a certain age. I don't remember the exact details. Our situation, we didn't really have to get into that too much, and we had separate rooms for those ages. So, sometimes you do need larger spaces. But if you live moving, it's like it's not a huge factor as far as, like, if you know you're going to be moving soon, it doesn't necessarily impact the kid negatively. If you are going to be fostering infants, newborns, toddlers, that type of thing, you can have a crib or a bassinet or a sleep situation in the same room as you, which oftentimes is easier with those younger kids, because if you're waking during the night, feedings, it is easier to have them in the same room as you. And if it's a safe sleep option, and you need to check within your own state and like the specific regulations for where you're at. But the safe sleep option, the biggest thing is you can't have them in your own bed, especially like I believe it's any foster kid of any age. You cannot have them in a bed with you. You can't co-sleep. That's not an option for both abuse reasons and just the extreme safety regulations that are on foster parents. So you can't share a bed with them, but if you have room for a bassinet or a crib of different sizes and ages, sometimes that's super helpful, especially newborns oftentimes in foster care are going to be born drug dependent. And so having them close to you is a good thing. And also like the risk of SIDS and like those types of things, having them close to you is a good thing. So it's not, and even I've known families that have extra bedrooms, but they still keep the younger ones in their room until they're able to. And so and the goal of foster care is for the parents to get healthy and to have the biological children go back with their biological families. And the goal is to restore a family to health. So if you're fostering in that sense, ideally it's getting the mom sober, which there's a whole bunch of issues. But if you can be on board with the state and like doing that, that is the goal. And there's problems, of course, there's problems with that, but that is real, like what fostering is, unless you're doing foster to adopt, which there's controversy and like different things around those terms. But the goal is to get the child back with biological parents. And I've known people that do, like, they'll foster lots of kids for short times until they're ready to go either onto a long-term home, or like one of my friends, she is so good at, I haven't talked to her in a while because I lost her contact info and anyways, moves and stuff. But she was really like super tidy and super clean, and she focused on NICU babies. She had NICU babies that were largely born drug dependent, and just the way she was wired, she was perfect for it. But then she did not keep them very long. Like once they were able and like healthy, they went to either another family that was more suited for the older ages, and she took another NICU baby on, because that is kind of a special skill that she was equipped for really, really well. I am not. I do not live like, but we're all different. We're all created different, right? So the size of the house, and she usually had the babies in her room with her, and she had so she had other kids as well, and they did end up adopting one of them, but long story. And that you just kind of have to play by ear because you don't know. So that is the response to like apartments, rooms, that type of thing. Doing it or making it worse. I've heard this a lot. Like, I don't want to damage a kid who's already struggling. I don't want to cause more negative impact. I don't want to do these things like that can be negative for a kid. Honestly, you're probably not going to. I think the trauma of being shifted around so much and violence and all of those things, you probably will not make it worse. The fact that this child is in a broken situation to begin with is bad. And they might not want to come to you. Like, there's all these things. Like, it is traumatic. It is traumatic to go to another human who is not your biological mother or father, period. And you stepping in and saying, like, I will be a safe home for this person for X amount of time, you are not making it worse by being that person. You're not. Like, and I don't mean that to be like, I don't want to dismiss those fears, but you're not. I think one of our boys we had for a while, I was super sick when we had him, and like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad. Like, I was impatient, I was short fused, like I was constantly not making good choices. Like, not bad choices, but my body was falling apart, and I was like, well, this kid needs a place, right? Like, and actually we're still in contact with him today. He's reached out to us. Like, we still hang out with him like 6 years later as he's an adult. And so, like, even though I felt like I was doing stuff wrong every single day, we didn't make that worse. And looking back, like, there's bio moms that I still am in contact with, one bio mom that I'm still in contact with, and we're still on friendly terms. Like, I was not perfect, but like, we didn't make it worse. And there's one girl who I worked with her. So after we stopped fostering to work with to have a bio kid, and then also we quit doing Young Lives. We quit doing Young Life to foster, and then we started Young Lives with another friend. So Young Lives is working with teen moms. One of our foster kids, then joined with Young Lives, and like, we were in contact with her for several years after, like, as her kids were younger and 1 and 2. She's probably like 22 or 23 now. Wow, that's crazy to think about. But like, we continued to be in contact with her, right? Like, she was a runner, so she'd run away, she'd come back, all these different things. And she hated being here because, like, she just wanted to be 18 and be out of the system and be on her own and have kids, and like she wanted kids. She was trying to get pregnant when she was with us. She miscarried once when she was here. One of the times she ran away, she ran to the ER and then miscarried. And then my husband followed her to the ER. So she walked to the hospital to the ER. She miscarried, and then my husband, like, and then she was with us for another day, and then she ran away again. But it was a tough situation. It was tough. There were so many things, but I don't think there's any way that we could have made it worse by offering a safe place for her to sleep. If she chose, like, she was with us once for a while, and she ran a lot. We took her, like, most families, foster families, don't say yes once you run. Like, once you run, you're gone. With this one girl, we did have her back in our house. Like, she ran probably like 10, 15 times while she was with us at least. And then she was gone for a month, so declared missing. And then we had a teen refugee mom who was not foster care. That was rough after that. So anyways, like, I don't know if you are a solid family who's safe, you're not doing drugs, you're like consistent, you have boundaries, you are caring, you're not going to make the situations worse. It would be very difficult to make some of these situations worse if you are a healthy adult who is making good choices with your life, consistent. Like, you just won't make these situations worse. It would be very difficult for anyone who's asked this question, is concerned about it. If you're concerned about it, chances are you're not going to. And one thing is the wrong reasons. I think wrong reasons are definitely there. But if your reasons are to do good, to love on children, to do what you are called to do, those are not wrong reasons. If your reason is because you want to be loved and praised by a child, that's a wrong reason to have a child to begin with. But that's also a super common reason for a lot of teen moms that have kids to have kids, and that's why they do. So it's a in my opinion, it is not even my opinion. I think it is a psychologically unhealthy reason to have children, is to have them like love, like, for your own benefit. But I think that's maybe the only wrong reason I can think of right off. And then also the attachment part. Yes, it is hard. Every child deserves to have an adult attached to them. If you've ever had a biological kid, like there is that attachment phase. And like our first foster placement, like the young girl did not ever attach to me. She never did. Um, and so yeah, like but every child deserves to have someone who would be heartbroken if they were taken away. So yes, so giving the child you're caring for back to bio mom or dad, it is hard. It is hard. And the child deserves that from you. Like, you have the resources to do counseling. You have the resources to do therapy. You have those resources. A child, like a 1, 2, 3, 4-year-old, doesn't have the emotional regulation skills that we have, and the child deserves that. And it's okay to be heartbroken. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a month off. It's okay to take months off between placements if you need to. It's okay. It is okay to hurt for a child. It is okay to love a child. It's okay. It's right for the adult to do the hard thing and love a child. And there is a beauty that you will probably never experience of redemption of a biological child that you have loved, going back to their biological mother or father. There is a beauty in that you can't experience outside of this as well. And so but it is hard. It is hard, and you like, yes. There's the brokenness we talked about in the last video a little bit. Like, it is a broken situation, and it is hard, and it is hard. Yeah. Anyways, I'm running out of space on my phone, so I gotta go. But I hope that was helpful. Yeah.